I was muted. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me well and the music is not too loud because that is tricky sometimes. If you can write in the chat if you can hear me well over the music, that will help me a lot. Other than that, I hope everything's okay with the audio. Well, actually the chat is gonna be a bit delayed, so anyways, sounds good. Good. So, if this is your first time here in this channel, I am Gael and I am a solo indie game developer, and I am working on my survival horror game called Silent Collapsion. And yeah, I'm working on this game alone. It's a game inspired by Silent Hill and The Long Dark. So it's a horror game that is heavily focused on the survival mechanics aspect of it, rather than just, jump scares and like fighting and all that sort of stuff. It's more like chill survival with few spooks here and there. And yeah, right now I am working on making the first level. So far I've been working more on the programming side of things. I've implemented like the main mechanics, like the character controller, the inventory, a lot of like the base mechanics, and now I'm finally doing the art part of it. And yeah, well, as you can see, I'm using Unity, and I've been blocking out the first level inside of Unity using ProBuilder, which is a plugin that basically lets you model inside the engine. Yeah, so ProBuilder is basically a very basic modeling tool that lets you do stuff like this, which is good for like sketching a level. But now I am trying to do this inside of Blender because I feel like I have a lot more options to do that, and this is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to continue this, and yeah, using Blender is kind of like new workflow. So yeah, I'm sure there's a few things I need to figure out. Making levels is not my forte. It's like the least experience I have. I'm a decent programmer and okay 3D modeler, but I don't have that much experience putting environments together. But yeah, as a solo dev, I have to do everything, so I might as well also learn how to do this properly. Yeah, so testing the Blender workflow, and hopefully it will be good. So yeah, let's get started. So yeah, I'm doing right now like the starting room when you start the game, and it's like the very first room that you play the game. Yeah, so far I'm testing a few things here and there. It seems like it's okay, and I just need to I don't know if to start making this pretty or block out the rest of the apartment. Maybe I should probably do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna block out the rest of the apartment in Blender. So let's continue with the toilet. Okay. Okay. Just gonna remove the camera so it's less distracting, I guess. So I've been working on this game for a while now. Uh, but yeah, working on it alone, so the development is going quite slow. But yeah, so far so good, I guess. Right now I'm trying to make a demo, or like working on a demo, so I can get some feedback on this idea and hopefully people will like it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, technically I've been working on this game since 2017. That's when I got the idea for this game, but that's also when I started learning game development. And at the time, I didn't have the skills to work in a game of this size. You know, it was my first time, making a game, so obviously this was too much. But yeah, since then I've learned a lot. I was working on a studio called Quickshot that made the game Bo Path of the Teal Lotus. I don't know if you know that game. And I learned a lot. I was working as a programmer for them. And after I finished working in that game, I decided to give this game a chance, my own game a chance. Here I am. So, and I've been working on this game for the past 2 years or so, but on and off, because I had some like health problems and stuff like that, so I couldn't like work on it too consistently. But yeah, hopefully this is the year that I can finally lock in and make a proper demo. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Just going to remove this. So far so good. I think I'm making good progress, even though I'm alone making this. Yeah, as I said, like figuring out the how to do levels properly. I'm sure I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes, but that's why we try things. I think, and because for example, I know I should be doing all the walls and all the things modular, meaning like do it once and copy paste. But at the same time, that's also very limiting when I am still figuring out or blocking everything. So yeah, I'm not doing it very modular at the moment, and I hope it's not a mistake later on. But yeah, I'm still learning a lot of things. As I said, my main skills are programming and 3D art and stuff. So, but yeah, like doing assets and that sort of things, and especially characters. So I don't have that much experience putting levels together, but it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, yes, it is difficult, but I kind of understand the theory of it, and hopefully, yeah, I'll be able to do it right. And if not, it's fine, you know. It's like there's a lot of you don't have to know everything. You can figure out things as you go, which is usually how games are done by solo developers or indie developers in general. I don't know if that's too small, too big. Maybe a bit smaller. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use free assets for this as well. But the thing of using assets is that even if they're free or even if they're paid, you still have to edit them because they're not all of them are very well optimized or well made. A lot of them are done by maybe like amateurs, or I don't know, it's just not optimized for games. So yeah, even if you use free assets or paid assets, you still have to work on them. You can't just, most of the time, can't just put them straight in the engine, you know. And also maybe you want to tweak the textures a bit or how they look, so it's not maybe like you have some assets that look really clean, and for example in my case they shouldn't look like super clean. I want them to look like they're being used, you know, stuff like that. So even if you use free assets, you still have work to do on it. It's less work, well, than making them from scratch, but sometimes maybe more work. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be using assets as well. But I mean, for stuff like walls and stuff like that, you know, I'm just gonna do it myself. So now we're going to okay. I'm going to export this. The bathroom, which is, where do I save this? Guess I can save it directly to Unity. Okay, so let's see how well the gonna need to move this. No, it should be fine. What about designing the house with CAD program? Yeah, I had tried that, but for some reason I don't like it. And I guess because I need to see it in the engine, you know, if you design it in CAD and then you still, it's pretty much the same as doing it in Blender, you know. It's not much different, and because you still need to bring it here to the engine to make sure that the scale is fine with your player, and yeah, like things work all fine. So I'd rather do it in Blender, honestly. I think it's also a lot faster to see things. Because like if I change, for example, let's say I put that wall there and then I save it again. It's like, oh, you can see it because this is in the way. Oh, I didn't select everything. So yeah, it's instantly updated. So I think that's a lot faster to see what you're doing is correct. I don't know, I think this method makes more sense, doing it in Blender and Unity at the same time. And then you also have this thing where you can link other Blender projects. So for example, I have linked this toilet that I made like a few weeks ago. And in here, I cannot edit it, but if I go to the actual toilet blend file and I change anything here, let's say for example, so it like that, and I save it here, it will automatically change here. So basically I can keep my assets separate. I can make like blockouts of the assets. I just have here, for example, I have very simple toilet, and later on I can make it a bit more complicated and I don't have to import it again here. So I think that makes a lot more sense, because everything is going to be saved in the same file, you know? And I can still use this in Unity, like, if it, I mean, I can still separate it in Unity, so if I want to use this toilet somewhere else, I still can do that. So that is the toilet. And also need the sink. I don't know if it's too small, baby. I think I may need to move. I don't know, let's walk inside actually. So the other thing I need to do is I need to add colliders, because otherwise Jane will fall through the floor. And I need to have that in mind, because if I change like the names or of the, like if I were to rename the floor, then the collider will go and I need to add it again. So that is a bit of a pain, but it's not too bad. I just have to have in mind that. So let's see. It's a bit dark. I changed the lighting and now I can't see anything. Let's just turn this off for a minute. What is it? Yeah, I need to bake the lights again. But I think the size should be okay. I can walk through it because I still need to set that up. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll make this bit bigger. Just gonna move it. No, I'll just move this one a bit. Or maybe no, maybe I don't need. Maybe I can do the walls a bit thinner, actually. Maybe like the exterior walls. Because like the inside walls, they should be thicker, I think. Because this game is based in England, and the walls here in England are quite thick, especially like in old houses. In flats, not so much. Actually, yeah, this is a flat. Maybe the walls shouldn't be this thick. Now that I think about it, maybe they should be like this thick. I don't know. Although the outside, I mean, it's not important. I always get caught up in those kind of details. It's not important. I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. That's going to annoy me. that is called sea fighting. It's like basically when two textures are on top of each other and the program doesn't know which one to render first, and it's like, you know, makes that weird like artifacts. So basically in Blender, I'm going to do all the stuff that is static, basically stuff that is not gonna be animated or it's gonna move. And yeah, in Unity, I'm going to do the stuff that is animated or it needs to move. Okay. So I think this a bit better. Has a bit more room. And I need to move the desk and everything. Okay. And now I'm gonna do the toilet walls a bit less thick. Oh, well, I already done it actually. I just need to... should I do this? Maybe. Yeah. Can do these ones as well. Guess I can have like variable thickness depending on if it's going to be seen or not. So I can have like the actual room a bit more space. But technically it's the same thickness everywhere. I mean, it's not something the player is gonna notice. It's just me being a bit picky. And this I'm gonna do like this, because once I bake the lights, which is basically, you know, like making a texture for how the lights and the shadows are supposed to be, instead of like rendering all the time. There are lights and shadow that are always going to stay the same, so that I save it on a texture, so it's a lot less, it consumes a lot less resources. And yeah, it shouldn't be like I need to intersect the walls, because if I leave it like this, if I do like this, sometimes here is like a weird light coming through and it's not good. So yeah, that is a bit of a pain to get it right. There's supposed to be, no, there's not at all. Hello, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna move this empty up. It's okay, doesn't matter. So I have this thing called an empty. It's basically like when I import it into Unity, it can have like a good hierarchy. Because I have like folders here in Blender, but that doesn't get imported into Unity, and I have to use a thing called empty, which is basically just this thing here, and this parented to whatever I want inside. So this is like sort of like a folder, but yeah, this is here and the walls are here, and that's gonna be a bit annoying. But if I move that now, so what I'm gonna do is unparent everything. I'm gonna move this somewhere around here, and now I can parent it again. Okay, that should be easier to move now. Like I can move the whole thing, and I can parent the only thing I can parent is the linked Blender files, which is a bit annoying, but it's okay. It will still show everything together under the same file anyways in Unity, but a bit disorganized, which kind of sucks, but oh well, limitations. Okay, well, I don't need this toilet anymore. That's the toilet that was there before. Yeah. Okay, as I said before, like I have changed the hierarchy here of the floor and it has lost the collider, so I need to put it again. And I also need to do the walls, but I'll do that later. Okay, now we're gonna put this sink. And there it is. So, I can't even tell which one is the front and which the back. Let's do a bit of change there. Okay, so we have I'll probably need to cut this. Let's do that now, I guess. Instead of doing that, I'm going to separate this face, and that's gonna be the doors. And we can do a mirror, so I don't have to do both sides at the same time. I can do just one side. And let's rename stuff. This is a sink cabinet doors. Okay, so then can do it like that. And then we can do the insert. And then if I do like that, I should have two doors. Obviously I need to put the pivot here so it rotates from here. But I'm gonna apply this, otherwise it's gonna get wet. So now when I rotate, well, I need to separate them. Eventually I will have to do this again, but for now it's fine. So now if I want to rotate, it's gonna rotate like that. And I can open and close that. And yeah, and eventually I will need to add like some thickness here as well. I mean, maybe we can do it now. Don't like it, don't like this. I think I am going to separate the top. Or maybe... No, I'm going to use what is called a vertex group. So I'm going to add thickness, but not to the sink bit. Just everything else, just the walls. So I'm just gonna do it there, and now it should be like that. I guess I need to also not do it here. Yeah, like that. But I don't know if that's gonna be okay. Kind of looks a bit weird. I'm gonna remove this bit. Yeah, I'm gonna do like this for now. Actually, before I remove it, I'm just gonna separate it and have it separate. I think that's a better solution. Looks a bit weird. What is this? Oh, because this also has the solidify. I don't want that. I mean, I can do it the other way around, like inside, but not that way. Okay, I think that's looking better. I just don't need this anymore. Okay. Is the music too loud now? I feel like the music is too loud. And we're gonna add wedges. A handle. Yeah, I've turned the music down. I think it was a bit too loud. By the way, this music is from Silent Hill 2 Remake. If you... I mean, I really like the music from Silent Hill. It's so good. It's probably... I'm probably gonna get hit with the copyright notice or whatever, but I don't care. I really like working with Silent Hill music. So I have duplicated that, and I am going to mirror it first. Like that, and I'm gonna merge it with this one. Okay, and now we have that. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, gonna put that. I think that is a bit more visible. Where's my sink? Oh, I cannot deleted the button. Oops. Okay, so I have updated the sink and now it should be updated here as well. Yep. That's cool, right? I have to only do work on one place and it gets updated across everywhere. So that's going to go somewhere here. Oh, the toilet is floating. Okay, let's export that, see how it looks. I need to delete this one that was there before. What is that? Below. So that thing, I think that's the other one, yes. And I'm gonna move this. In the kitchen, I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, on this mirror, I'll leave that one there. I guess I can just make another one. It's not that complicated. I should go somewhere around it. That seems like a decent size, I guess. I just don't want things floating, so that should be fine. Yeah, slightly intersecting with the wall, which is good. So it's not gonna be floating. And maybe move this a bit to the side, tiny bit. We can do like a bin here. Let's do a bin. Oh. And we can use the default cube. So how big is that? So let's put that. Okay, so let's link that over here. Maybe it can be a bit bigger. Bit like wider. Yeah, and it's on the floor, I guess. I think so. Okay. And I'm just gonna make like a hole. And eventually, obviously, I'll work more on these hatches and make them prettier, because right now they're like really placeholder. But for now, will do. Okay, let's see how that looks in the engine. Okay. I don't think I need to change, well, I need to rename this, actually. Should probably rename the things from the beginning so nothing breaks, but whatever. I think as long as they have the same name, it should be okay, even if you like modify them. Okay, yeah, because like I didn't rename the floor, I still has the collider, which is good. So let's add some colliders to the walls. And yeah, I think this workflow using Blender is a lot simpler. This one will probably a mesh collider, because it has holes, so you can't put like a regular square collider or I won't be able to walk through the doors. But these ones can use like a regular box collider, which the difference between the box collider and the mesh collider, like the mesh collider is a bit more heavy on the system, but not that much. Ideally you will like to use box colliders, which because are like the simplest ones. And this one, for example, I'm not gonna go through the window, so I can use a box collider. And on this wall as well. Okay, so now let's see. I think probably the toilet is too dark to see, but we'll have a look. So right now I don't work in another studio. I have a day job that pays the bills. Oh, wow, the mesh collider is not working. So I have a day job that is completely unrelated to game dev. And yeah, but in my previous job, I did work as a programmer, and it was really good, and I learned so much that I decided to work on my game, which is this one. Okay, so what do we do with this one? I don't know why it's not working. It should be working. But yeah, at the moment, sadly, my game is not making any money, so I need to pay the bills somehow. So I'm just working on a random job in the meantime. But yeah, it will be nice to work again in another studio or something related to game dev. But I don't know if you know anything about the games industry. Like basically 2 years ago collapsed, and there were a lot of layoffs, and it was terrible. And that was about the time that I finished with Squid Shock. And because I'm still a junior, it was really difficult for me to find another job. And yeah, so that's why I decided to work on mine and just get a random job in the meantime, because yeah, it's really difficult now to get a job working in the game industry as a junior, because there's a lot of seniors out there that have been laid off that obviously have a lot more experience and a lot more like talent than me, so not gonna happen. Or yes, I don't know, but it's fine. Right now I'm having fun doing my game. So this sucks. I guess I'm gonna have to add multiple box colliders, because for some reason the mesh collider is not working. So I just have to do it like in chunks. So I'm just gonna do it like that. And I'm gonna leave here no collider. And maybe for the cameras also collides with stuff, obviously, so you won't go through walls. And maybe that will be better for the camera as well, because sometimes the camera gets a bit stuck, and I hate when that happens. It just feels so weird. Okay, so let's try that. And the rest should be okay. And I'm gonna bake the lights. Maybe the stream is gonna pause a little bit because my computer doesn't have that much power. So, well, let's see what happens. So, this is what I say for baking the lights. Now I'm making like a texture. And yeah, it's still quite dark here. Yeah, it's super dark. But I want it to be dark because, it's like, it's supposed to be dark. But I guess this is a bit too dark. I guess I have to turn the darkness a bit less. And I think also through the screen, like in my screen, it doesn't look that dark, but on YouTube it looks a lot darker than what it is. So I'm just gonna turn that off. I don't know, I will have to tweak that. Actually, I have a better idea. Let's turn that on again. Because I like the darkness here in this room. And I'm going to put a light here. Where are my lights? Um, let's put a area light. So I can have like real-time lights, which is like, you know, they work in when you're playing the game, and backlights, and the backlights are like static, they don't change. But for some reason, when I put a backlight, it doesn't really look very good. So let's try see if that works. I just want like a tiny bit, and just bake that. And it's gonna take 5 minutes. What? Okay. Maybe I'll do test of camera because I'm also recording. 13 minutes? Yeah, no way. Okay, so let's have real-time lights for now, because they take a lot less. They consume more resources. Ideally, you want to use baked lights, you know, because they consume a lot less resources, but for some reason they don't work really well. So let's do like this. Like 3. That's nice. The only thing I don't like about this kind of lights, like they do like circles. Oh, and you know, if you like, I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, you know, they do like circle lights, and I don't really like the. What happened? Even if I change the range. I don't think I want shadows in this one, and I'm gonna have it like really low, so that way, you know, it's a bit more. I would like a square light, but we don't really have that here in Unity. I can maybe do like a spotlight. I mean, that backlight that I was trying to do before is sort of like that one is a square, but yeah, it wasn't working. I mean, it was gonna take forever to bake, so whatever. Let's try this one. Eh. And this one is affecting the much. I mean, kind of the same, to be fair. Let's just use this one. Maybe I can do like 2. Yeah, I will work with it. And just do like very low intensity. Yeah, that's a bit better. I guess I will have to use 2. And eventually I also need to put a roof. Okay. So now I can see a bit more when I enter the bathroom. If I something like internet to spark. Should I add some shadows? No, because that's supposed to be like an ambient light, just to illuminate. I just don't like this like different intensity here, and around is like less. Looks a bit weird. Okay, I'll have to do for now. I'll find a solution sometime. Okay, well, what else? Oh, I need to do the window here. Let's make like a toilet window, very small. And eventually we'll also have to make the UVs, which is basically, well, the walls and all these assets are 3D objects, but the textures are 2D objects. So basically you have to like, imagine this was like paper, and you had to make cuts, like, imagine like this is paper and you have to put it flat, like, you know, like the origami sort of thing. So basically these red lines tell the program where it should be cut to make it flat on the surface. That way you can tell like the texture, how it's gonna look. For example, here is all like stretched, right? So if I say that I want cuts around here, which is called seams. So mark the seam. And now I unwrap it, basically like putting the 3D flat. See, this is what the texture is going to look like as well. And as you can see, now it's less stretched, but it's still stretched because it has this weird shape here. So if I cut it again here, now this is gonna be like one long line. Like if I unwrap that again, see, then it's like a line. And this is like if I had put it flat on paper, no, on a flat surface, and now you can see the texture is not stretched. So yeah, once I'm happy with the blocking of everything and I start making it look pretty, which is called set dressing, I will have to do that for everything. So yeah, that's why games take so long to make, because you have to do a lot of steps that players never get to see. For now I think this is fine. Let's do the hallway maybe. Actually this one needs to be there. Okay, and here's the window. Maybe I should move it a bit to the right. and every time I modify something, the texture gets misaligned. So yeah, I'll do the textures, the UVs and all that at the end. Let's just move everything actually. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, yeah, I think that, oh. Okay, I need to change the light so it won't affect Jane. Although that kind of looks cool. But it should only affect the room. So for that, I need to put this on different layers. In layer, which layer is my player? So layer 7 is my player, so I'm gonna do layer 1 for like environment. Put all this in layer 1. And eventually, as I update the assets, I'm gonna have to do this again. But oh well. And now the lights, I need to tell them to only affect layer 1. Which was here? No, this one. There we go. Is that working? Yeah. Okay. So now it should work better. Okay. And I may do the same here in this room. Maybe add it a bit more. What is that? Is that a gap? No. Why is that dark? Oh. Because that wall shouldn't be that far. See, that's why you do things step by step and you test all the time. Because in Blender it looks one way and in Unity it's gonna look a different way. So, oh wait, no. It's because these four, this shouldn't be this, yeah, it should be moved a bit more. Oh, and the pivot didn't change positions. Oh no, I guess it is, yeah. So this should be there. Something, I mean, I can put a tiny bit inside. So it doesn't have trouble with the lights. Okay. Now that should be better. And it's doing that here, but it's okay. The player shouldn't be able to see that. So I don't mind that too much. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Probably need to move the lights as well. Maybe a bit, tiny bit. Don't really like it. Let's try a directional light, which is basically like the sun. A bit more intense. But I think I don't like about the direct light, the directional light, is that it's just like one angle. It's like a bit weird. Because, like, for example, if I move it like this side is lit up, but this side is dark. And if I move it the other way around, so this side is lit up, but not this side. And you're supposed to have only one directional light. But could I put more than one? Is that gonna be too bad? Let's try. Like one from each angle. Okay, for now I'm just testing stuff, so I probably have to make them less intense. So on this light I want to affect the walls and the player. Which is layer 1 and layer 7. See, I don't know if you saw that. Oh. If I turn that off. This is like so cool to be able to have this separate. So this is a bit more ambient light, I guess, but it needs to be a lot less. And I hope this is not like super bad for performance. So I should have one point in that direction. So now it's kind of like uneven, evenly light. And why is that? Well, I guess that's kind of realistic, having that there. Okay. This eventually I will change it, but for now I'll put it like this. Okay. I think maybe to be less dark. Okay, that looks better actually, and it looks more like ambient light, not like that weird circles. Okay. And now are my frames per second. So far so good. Obviously, like, this scene is very light because all the assets are very low poly at the moment. But yeah, I think we're doing good progress so far. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave the stream here. Yeah, I hope you have fun. I hope you learned a little bit how games are made. And yeah, I'm going to start streaming probably 3 times a week. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, if things go well and if health permits. So next time I will be streaming Thursday around the same time. Yeah, in the afternoons, like, well, for me now it's the afternoon. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you there. Subscribe to the channel so you can have a notification for when I'm going to go live next. And I also post a video every week talking a bit more in depth about making games, you know, as a solo indie developer. So if that is something that is interesting to you, also subscribe to the channel. Yeah, other than that, thank you very much for being with me today. I hope you like my game, and hopefully you will be able to play it soon. So yeah, thank you very much everybody. See you soon. Bye bye.